Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and we are doing another pre-ISE video cast, this time with the company that has probably, in fact, not probably, has won the Best Booth Award more than any company at ISE, and that's SharpNEC Display. I'm here with Ian Barnard, who is the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Product Management, as well as Toby Augustin, who is the Manager of Product Management at SharpNEC Display Solutions Europe. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you?
Very good. Thanks, Gary. Lovely to see you again this year.
I'm excited to be having a regular show. I've always loved your booth because you're not product focused, you're applications focused and you're theme focused. So therefore, as a client to come in your booth, what I learn is how you position the products and how you use the products and how they differentiate themselves out of the other companies that have similar products. You've always done a really good job there. So tell me what's your booth going to look like this year? Am I going to see something similar? I mean, by the way, you're going to be in Hall 3 and 3E600.
That's right. Yeah, Hall 3 E600. So the same location as the last year, but a very different looking booth. But you're right. Yes, we do focus very much on the theming and the application. So this year, the theme is a lasting vision. And here we're talking very much about sustainability, obviously a very hot topic, not just in our industry, but worldwide across all industries. And when we talk about sustainability, we really start with quality from SharpNEC point of view. And that's where we really focus on the quality during the R&D process, the design process, as well as to manufacture. And we really pride ourselves on building products and solutions that last. And it doesn't just stop there with the installation. It actually carries on with the service and support. And I'm pleased to say that in terms of sustainability and quality and service, we've already won a fair number of awards. So that's the kind of overall theme of the booth this year. And as well as the products and the organization that's behind it, building in and feeding into that sustainability story, the booth itself, we've really focused on that this year to represent that message. So we're using the main two materials we're using are both either.
Let me put that picture back up really quick. I noticed that you have green, like right away you see that sustainability with the green LED and the green glow from it. But yeah, and you're talking about the sustainable materials that you're using in the booth.
Yeah, it gives a kind of fresh and modern feel, but it really lends into
it's very much like a retail store.
It is a little bit, and it's very well. I hope when we all see it in the flesh, it will stand up to that as well. But the main materials we're using are either recyclable or recycled. We're reusing the aluminium frame from last year, and that of course is recyclable afterwards. And then the main other material is chipboard. So again, very sustainable, but also even the soft furnishings, the carpets and the curtains we're using, we've already been discussing with other organizations to repurpose those afterwards. And the curtains, for example, we're working on getting those to a theater. So the theme is very much sustainability this year.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We actually went to a show earlier this year where they had no carpet in the show. As a way to, I had no idea that they roll these carpets up and dump them after a show. I didn't realize that you reuse these things. I think that you're ahead of the message there, and ahead of the curve as usual. I mean, and I get your message of quality too, because one of the things that you're dealing with is a lot of competition coming from countries where the brands don't even have a presence in North America or even Europe, much less a sales presence, but also not even a support presence. One thing that's unique about NEC is you're one of the very few, they're one of only two companies in the world that makes every type of technology, and you actually make it yourself. So therefore you actually have control over the production and support side of things. So I think I get that message. I think that's a big deal for NEC and has really helped you as you've entered in new markets like LED as an example, because there's a lot of sameness. It's a sea of sameness in LED.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very much a strength of us, and the breadth of the range, the number of markets and verticals and segments we address with huge numbers of products across multiple categories really feeds into that. And the service operation and also our global sales operation means that we can bring that all together, not just on a local or regional basis, but on a truly worldwide,
Yeah,
basically.
y'all actually coordinate globally, which most brands don't do, which is
Yeah.
a refreshing. We've actually experienced that ourselves at the rAVe agency. I want to talk about. I'm kind of curious. Like, it's been almost 2 years since the merger. What's the status on that? Toby or Ian, who's the best one to talk about that?
Well, maybe I'll start off on that one. In terms
Okay.
of the joint venture, you're right. It's just over 2 years now. It officially kicked off in November 2020, so right in the middle of COVID. So it's just over two years, and the lasting vision actually builds into that as well. It talks about the enduring and developing nature of Sharp and NEC together, and what we're doing in the market and moving forward. So last year, you'll remember we talked about one company and two brands, and that's still very much the case. But in the background, there's been a huge amount of harmonization and alignment on systems and processes, IT structures, supply chain, etc. But in terms of our customers and partners, some of the areas they will see more of as we go through, we've harmonized and brought together our channel sales team, our Pro AV sales team from both sides. So that's one thing. But another challenge right from the start was we had two separate lineups in the areas that overlapped. So this is LFD and interactive. So that's the starting point. It's unavoidable, the starting point. So there's been a lot of work to start to bring those together. And you'll see we're going through a process of rationalization and consolidation at the moment till we have one harmonized product range to bring to market and to support. And I think probably even more important, something that's really been picking up speed in the last year or so, is we've really aligned our R&D, our engineering and our planning in Japan and the Far East. So the products and the solutions that are being developed now that are coming through are benefiting from the experience and the expertise from both sides of the business. And you'll see some of those products coming through on the booth this year. Whether it's under a Sharp brand or an NEC brand, we're very agnostic in that. We're playing to our strengths. With LFD, in terms of non-interactive, our NEC presence is much larger. In terms of the new interactive products that are coming through in the existing lineup, maybe Sharp is slightly stronger. But regardless of which brand it is, you can be assured a comprehensive range of quality products. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. But we're still moving forward.
Yeah, one of the things that happened right before the pandemic, I was literally in New York City at the flagship Microsoft store when Sharp introduced the world's first Windows collaboration display. And that was a big deal. Like, it was being introduced worldwide in 5 different locations simultaneously. And I was fortunate enough to be one of the speakers at that event. It was literally like a week before the pandemic. It was the craziest timing ever, Toby. Tell me about that product and kind of where it is now, because now finally, there's a lot of these things being installed, and it was the first Windows certified collaboration device.
Exactly. I mean, this whole thing about the Windows collaboration displays, it was coming, as you mentioned, before the pandemic hit, but it was actually going in the direction that we're moving now with meeting and collaboration, that offices are connected, companies emphasize more on remote video conferencing, and not everybody has to attend customer meetings in person. So yeah, a lot has happened in the last 2 years in this category. And obviously more and more technologies are going in this. The Windows Collaboration Display initiative from Microsoft was kind of the Kickstarter for the whole development in this area. But obviously it didn't stop only there. There are far more technologies now going in the same direction. And we had a fair bit of installations with these technologies, but there's a natural development to take it even further, to go into different inch sizes, to adopt some of the core technologies like USB Type-C, for example, and making things more easy and easier to operate. So this is basically also what we are trying to show at the ISE this year.
Yeah, and we just showed 2 of the products. Let's go back over those really quickly. One of them, your LED FE 0091. The model number doesn't really matter, but it's am I correct? It's 104 inch.
Exactly.
LED based Windows collaboration. It's a Windows front row based Teams front row based product. This is critical because it's 21:9 aspect ratio display.
Exactly.
And it takes advantage of Windows Teams Front Row, or Microsoft Teams Front Row. I keep saying Windows. Yeah. Microsoft Teams Front Row, but it also can be used for pretty much any collaboration system. But you're showing it here in that configuration. The other product that I saw that was really cool is you have the dual room system, the two 65-inch displays with the camera in between. If we could pop that back up here, I think that's a cool product to see, because in that case, you're showing collaboration technology with, interactive collaboration technology with the camera in the middle, which is kind of neat because most of the time we're looking up or looking down. And when you put a camera low in a meeting room, that's a very uncomfortable place to be if you have an interactive board. So therefore, you're going to have both these at the booth.
Exactly. So meeting and collaboration is one of the key focus areas we would like to highlight. It's also what we have highlighted last year, and that's also where Sharp and NEC, as two joining companies, have their strength. Sharp a little bit more than NEC, but with those two products, we would also like to educate a little bit partners and customers in the market. Obviously, Microsoft is highlighting the 21:9 aspect ratio, but it does not exclude dual full HD side by side. There are advantages and disadvantages for both aspect ratios, and we simply would like to show you can create a 21:9 aspect ratio with direct view LED. Then you get 104-inch for the Microsoft Front Row layout, but you can also use the dual collaboration display, which is 2 times 16:9 next to each other. It also has a lot of advantages, and it's supported by Microsoft Teams Room. So
so let's put the two monitors back up, because I want to mention one thing about this this dual display concept using the 65-inch monitors. This could also be done with two projectors. You could literally do this and get 32:9. Basically, this is a 32:9 aspect ratio. Imagine doing this with two projectors and a camera in the middle. Since we're talking about projectors, let's move into higher education, because obviously that's an area where projectors are still primarily the display technology being used. Of course, we'd love to see them move into LED, but the reality of the situation is most K through 12 doesn't have the budget yet, and higher education, it's an upgrade cycle thing. So obviously you're going to be showing some of the new projection technology for higher education.
Exactly. So in higher education, let's say two of the new products that we're showing is, first of all, one projector with 8,000 center lumen, the new PV series. That's additional products that we're launching, a new series, which is, 8,000 lumen. That's for, let's say, a classroom. Bigger classroom, but the 17,000 lumen center lumen projector, the
PA 1705,
exactly. This one is definitely for lecture hall. So if you really need a bigger image, as you mentioned, Gary, LED may a little bit too expensive here. Displays may not be big enough. That's where the PA series is coming in. And for higher education, this is best performance. I'm
old enough to have been in the market back in the day when we had 1,000 lumen projectors that were the size of refrigerators. So it's just mind-boggling to me that we have these small form factor 7,000 or 8,000 and 17,000 lumen projectors. So I just blown away in that. One of the cool things that I first saw ever in NEC's booth years ago was digital signage being represented by projection. I thought that was the coolest thing, where everyone just made an assumption that flat panel display technology would dominate retail and signage applications, but there's a lot of applications. Outside of that, you have a full line of retail displays that have all sorts of connectivity and inherent player options, including an SDM. Your SDM lineup is probably one of the best in the industry. Talk about that for just a second, because what you're doing there is quite unique.
Yeah, the modular approach that we're doing is going also in this overall philosophy of Sharp NEC, that one size does not fit all. And while other brands say they have one solution to serve all the different levels of performance, we believe that customers should have a choice what level of performance they would like to pay. And also they should be able to upgrade their products in the future to operate them much longer. That all plays into this sustainability story that we would like to tell. So the modular computing lineup has always been really strong with NEC in the past, and now on the Sharp NEC, we're bringing it to the next level. So right now, what we can offer is a more entry-level lineup with the Raspberry Pi kit. As you may know, we have a slot, a dedicated.
Yeah, let's put those back up. That's the one that's, I think, in the back of the image back there.
Exactly.
Right?
From the three items, the devices, the one in the back is the Raspberry Pi MPI4 kit, but then we have the OPS form factor of Intel that has been introduced, I believe,
years ago.
2010 or so. And now with the SDM, the Smart Display Module, it's the new form factor that has also offers a lot of potential. And we run the OPS and SDM lineup in parallel because they are customers for both slotted technologies. And what also is available in the SDM form factor now is a very promising product. It's our USB Type-C SDM, which means no matter what display you have from Sharp NEC, when it has an SDM slot, you can upgrade it to USB Type-C, and you only need one cable to do everything. So that's, let's say, a very, very easy way to operate products in the meeting room.
I think this is what I think should be illustrated here is that this allows you to use the display technologies across all applications, not just have to have a dedicated retail signage display line versus a meeting room line. You can use the same displays for both for non-interactive applications. Command and control has always been an area that NEC has been part of. In fact, many years, now the Sharp NEC brand, but back in the old days when it was just NEC Display Europe, you would have partners in your booth showing. Hyperwall is one of them, and I can't remember, there was another big that you'd have in your booth showing some of the command and control applications. Will that be on display at ISE this year?
Absolutely. So it's good that you mentioned Hyperwall, because this year we bring it to the next level. So we never had so many devices connected and controlled by Hyperwall at our booth or at any booth at any exhibition. So the majority of the projectors and displays will get their content controlled by Hyperwall, which is great. And also
Hyperwall will be there as one of your partners in the booth again this year.
Exactly. So we have a massive installation. It will control Hyperwall technology, will control the majority of the contents, especially the content of the big curved LED wall, which we are showing in the center of our booth in command and control. That is also driven by Hyperwall 8 system.
Excellent. Well, listen, I'm excited to. By the way, there's another product we didn't talk about, the Multisync E244F displays. That has applications in lots of places. I mean, I think that as a desktop display, but also as a command and control center control display as well. That can be flipped to be landscape or portrait. That'll be in your booth as well, along with the rest of the Multisync line, right?
Yeah, we're showing this product actually in a bunch of different applications. It's very flexible, and it's one of the models that is coming from a new line of products, and some of them will have, again, USB Type-C, which enables people to have, let's say, a very clean installation for their home office, but also in the office, they only need one cable to connect. So it's an umbrella message. You can use it in high-end, very demanding applications, but also for work from home and in your home office for hybrid work.
Yeah, so all be in the Sharp NEC Display Solutions Europe stand in Hall 3 E600, same place they were last year. Definitely go by there. Y'all actually think about the display from the standpoint of user interface rather than from the standpoint of a stand builder. Which I think is a big difference. I mean, I think the stand builder companies do some amazing displays, but what y'all have done over the years is really think about it from a user in our world, our user experience, not just random user experiences, but user experiences of people that care about the Pro AV and the signage market. So I'm going to guess that your booth's just going to be mind-boggling, but you also always have the best coffee in the show. So I don't know, did you bring back the same coffee supplier, because you always have the best coffee? That's a critical question, Ian.
You mentioned this last time, and then unfortunately you were unable to come because
I know I got COVID.
so you have to. So we're looking forward to seeing you in person and making sure you get hold of some of that coffee this year.
It is the best coffee. Like it's better than the show coffee they sell. It's better than any of the coffee shops in town. It is the best coffee. So if you come for nothing else, come by.
There's many things to see. There's many things to see, and then maybe we'll do coffee as a line extension as well. So you're very welcome, and we look forward to seeing everybody there.
Sell the beans. Okay, listen, gentlemen, thank you. Toby, Ian, thank you for doing this again. I love this comprehensive view. This kind of gives, the truth of the matter is, there's a couple 100,000 people that aren't going to go to ISE. So we're going to bring that to them, but we're going to come in, we're going to shoot individual product videos, but I'm also going to get to do my famous booth tour in the NEC booth. I'm excited about that. So you'll get a tour of this sustainable booth as it is displayed as if you're on the show floor. So we're going to do that. All you have to do to see all of our ISE coverage is go to ravepubs.com/ISE. Of course, you can always go to the web and find Sharp NEC Display Solutions Europe. Ian, Toby, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Gary. Look forward to seeing you.
We'll see you in Barcelona in just a few days.
Will do.
Great.
Thank you very much.